All right, guys. If you're wondering what there is to do in El Paso this weekend in Las Cruces, oh my goodness, this might be one of the biggest weekends, the busiest weekends we've ever had. And there's something literally for every type of vibe, for every single person, from adults to kids. So let's go ahead and check it out. Let's start here in El Paso. If you like food and you're a foodie, right? So you like to go and experience different cultures, maybe different flavors, maybe some kind of a weird food that you've never tried. We have what's called the Taste of El Paso. That's a festival that's happening on Saturday from 2 to 10. That's going to have about 20 food vendors. You'll see some live music, regional beers. It's one of those events that you say, I'm going to just be there for a little bit, and then you end up staying way longer than expected. So I hope that that's something fun that maybe you would like to do. Now, if your vibe is a little bit more like high energy, then you have the fighting, right? So the proving grounds at the Coliseum that night. So that's full of boxing. So that's a very different atmosphere. If you're into boxing, and that might be one that you want to catch. And on the lighter side, if you got something like you want to be out in nature or you want to spend some time with the kids, we have what's called Dia de los Niños. Now, I used to do this a bit with my kids, and I remember with my Girl Scout troops when I would take them out. And we actually got to get the girls to march in a parade. So they had a parade right before that. And that happens in the morning at Pablo Rio Park. And it is super focused on your kids. So you'll see face painting, you'll see jumping balloons. And the whole idea is they're giving books to kids to read now. Um, you don't see a lot of kids reading books anymore. Oh my God, my daughter would always just put herself in a book and she would just read and read for hours. I remember that she even had that skill to where they were reading two or three different books at the same time. I would see her read one book and then she would take a break, put the next book in and read the next book, take a break, put the next book in. And I was like, how in the world does she keep it together? Talents. So if you're looking at something to do with your kids, check out that Dia de los Niños. After that, you could kind of like scoot over to the El Paso Zoo because it is Earth Day and they have events from 10 to 3. So that's outdoors, looking at the animals, maybe grabbing a bite to eat, dropping off the kids afterwards with grandma, grandpa, the daycare, the babysitter, tia, tios, whoever it is that takes care of your kids, and then picking up your husband or your significant other, wife, doesn't matter, and then head over to the El Paso Margarita Festival. That's from 12 to 6. And that's kind of the same idea where you're going to have the food vendors, you're going to have the margaritas, and you get to decide who actually has the best margarita in the city. So if that's not enough for you and you still want to do something else, the other things that are going on is they have the Hard Rock Tribute Show that's happening on the east side at Speaking Rock. That's going to have live bands and they're tributes, right? So they're going to be tributes to Metallica and Guns N' Roses. I'm not trying to date myself, but I was in that era, and those are kind of the songs that I really enjoy and I've raised my kids on. Now, if you're the younger crowd, one of the biggest things that's coming here to El Paso, which I totally have a video for my daughter about it, is BTS. So they're having a BTS rave party that'll also happen later that night. So if you're a BTS fan, you might want to consider doing that. Other than that, don't forget to always support our locomotives, the baseball teams, and the soccer teams here in El Paso. They have such amazing vibes, so much entertainment, great food. And if you want a night out, it's really nice to kind of sit there on the bleachers and just look at the stars while you have the game going around you. It's so beautiful to see how El Paso has really, you know, embraced the people and embrace some of the activities that other cities had, and now we have brought them here. So good job, El Paso. Now let's go ahead and shift over to Las Cruces because this is where things slow down just enough, but in a good way. You have what's called the Mira, Las Cruces. It's a downtown festival from 2 to 9:30. And this one's pretty cool because it blends a little bit of everything. So you get to walk around, you get to look at the events, you get to listen to live performances, a lot of arts and homemade goods. There's a really cool area there where it kind of reminds me of the show Friends. So you go into this little coffee shop, and on the right as you walk in, it's got that little sofa, kind of like the Friends vibe, the TV show, guys. So check that out. And then if you're whiny, I'm not saying that you're a whiner, not like our kids, although some of our spoiled parents can do it too. But if you enjoy a glass of wine, you might want to check out the wine shuttle. That happens on the weekends, and that goes between El Paso and Las Cruces, and you don't have to drive. You just kind of like wine hop, right? You can also check out the La Viña Wine Festival. That's also happening. So, gosh, there is just so much that we've talked about. So many family events, events in the morning, events in the afternoon, concerts, nightlife. I mean, I think we pretty much have touched everything. And just in case you don't know, Las Cruces is only about a 30 to 45-minute drive headed west. And it's just an amazing place to go. If you're looking for something that's a little bit more laid back, Las Cruces is really the place to be. So this is a lifestyle, and it is exactly what you should be thinking about when you're considering when you're buying or selling a home, because where you live, that really determines how easy it is to plug into these events, right? So do you want to be 5, 10 minutes from downtown and events like this? Or maybe do you want a quieter setup? Some place where you can just kind of unwind and relax. I have some clients that technically right now they're purchasing a home in Alamogordo because they need the quiet. Right. So remember, I do sell homes in New Mexico and in Texas. So these are some of the clarities that I want you to keep in mind when you're trying to decide on what is the right move for you. And if you're thinking about buying a home or selling a home, this matters even more because buyers aren't just looking at your house. They're asking, what do my weekends look like if I lived here? What do my weekends look like? Am I wanting to go to parks? Am I wanting to be close to a school district? So pick one or two of these, go experience it, have fun. Pay attention to what you enjoy most when you're out because that's going to tell you a lot. If you start thinking, I wish I lived closer to these kind of events, then you'll know exactly where to look. All I can say is make memories, enjoy the family, and have an amazing time. And as always, send me some pictures. And just so you know, pictures of you in the events, okay? Just wanted to clarify that. And just so you know, if you ever want to just sit down and have a cup of coffee with me, you know how to get a hold of me. I hope you guys have an amazing week, and we'll talk to you soon.